Hey guys, welcome back. I promised you all last time I uploaded that you would deal with the sore that I found in the Ziploc bag, and that's what I'm going to do today. And when I looked at him, I can't remember if I put this in that update video or not, but he had a rather neat shield that I just don't see the reason to mess with. I painted it pretty good. When I had him in. See if I can get it into focus. Come on. See? There it is. Looks pretty good. So we're going to use the rest of them. And that would be this piece here and this piece and this nice little spiked head. So I'm thinking for this go around we'll go with an Arctic theme. A main part of the Warhammer universe is that there's no such standard colors, no select story aside from the fact that lizard men were considered tribal and they lived in jungles. Well, in this huge universe, who's to say that we don't have a species of lizard men that were adapted to the cold, and well, we're Arctic, so we're gonna see if we can't find a nice set of blues and whites that we can use for our advantage to that. And I think what I'm gonna use, if I can find it, is where did it go? There it is. Cerulean blue. I'll just give you guys nice quick little look at it from the inside of the cap. Kind of looks stark until you actually get in there, and then you find out the I hate this part. Yeah, finger, get in there, finger. It's actually pretty light by my standards, also by the standards of the blues I have available. So we're going to start with our cerulean blue, and as per usual, it's the whole, cover everything in one color technique. Let me see what I can scrape out of this mess of color that seems to have defiled itself. Actually, it'll give off a nice metallic sheen if you put it on a metal. Come on. Focus in. Ta-da! Yeah, nice metallic, actually. Could probably use that for later videos, if I can remember to grab it. Oh, there it is. Good way to tell you that it's a light blue. However, what I pulled out seems to have been the deliquified, or not deliquified, but the separated form. So, we're going to go ahead, we're going to start, and I think for the brush I'll use this time around, I'm going to go with a size 12 brush. Can't see. There it is, size 12, and then go to a size 4. So we'll check in when that's all done. Alright, so I just finished painting everything up, and For the most part, the blue. Oh, here. Hold on. Problems with recording with a phone, I tell you. Nope, nope, nope. Almost there. Almost there. Come on. Come on. Christ. Alright, well, maybe you can tell it better from over here. Reflective, to say the least. Try and get my hand on the back here. It's a nice light blue, which would help for camouflage in blizzards and and snowstorms and all that. So now that we've got that all nice and lathered, we're going to use that darker blue part of the cerulean, and we're going to go and we're going to wash it. And I know last time I washed something, that I washed something, it didn't come out quite right. So what I did was I started looking around and I found better ways to wash and practice water to paint ratios and how diluted the paint or how separated the paint already was, and practice that up for a bit. So now let's see what we got, and we'll start with the body since that's the largest part. And I'm going to use my number 4 size brush to just load it up a little, get my drop, and just gonna lightly spot it. Alright, so we finished washing our ArticSaurus with some of that darker oil or residue that came out of the tube from earlier, and he's looking pretty good. I have an issue with this top spot right here, right on the other side of that scale. You can tell it's not taking like the rest of it is, and that kind of bugs me, but in the grand scheme of things, from a glance, I don't really think it'll cause too much of an effect on the overall look of the Saur. I mean, the rest of them looks great. I cannot complain about how he turned out. Really set in there. So our next focus is to again finish up the rest of the body, and since this guy's dried or already drying, we'll come back to him later, and we'll switch to our head and repeat the same process. Let's see. And then we'll just grab our arm and we'll do the same thing again. So, take our number 4 brush and just cover the tip of it. Soak it really well in the water. And just kind of lightly move it all around, I suppose, and just let the drops go where they may, kind of thing. Let them fill the gaps on their own. Because the majority of it being water, it's gonna not wash off, but it's going to dry out and leave the rest. Come on, get in there. Need to see what's going on with the other side. I've actually been thinking about upgrading this stand, since it gives me quite a bit of limited range, to be honest. It makes it hard to get really far around the model, and in some instances has been pretty hindrance in the amount of motion that it's, or not emotion, but the amount of angles that it's giving me to work with. Let's see here. And I would like to point out that when you're washing, if you think one area is too heavily coated, don't be afraid to kind of dry off your brush and just spread it around. Alright, let me see here. Alright, and while you sit there and you drain all your color, we'll move on to our next piece, and that's going to be our hand, which will actually be a lot easier considering it's a very small region. So take our hand and move it under the light, and there we go. So again, you load up your brush. Oh, hold up, we got a hair. I will say though that the magnification on here is pretty good, so I can see subtle things like hair getting on the model that I wouldn't normally see. There we go. And we'll leave that to dry as well. And now we focus on the last piece, which I sort of forgot about till I saw it sitting around. Our little modification for the Saur of the month. Just a weird little doll-shaped head, kinda. See if you'll adjust to it. If not, it's no big deal, as you can... hold up. There it is. And that there is our little modification piece for the day. So, while we've got our pieces just cruising, and magnifier is giving me a trouble, and there we go. So while those pieces are sitting there just chilling out and drying, I would like to take a minute and say that I have good news for the channel. The good news being that I have taken the time to invest in a hopefully more popular model kit series rather than these miniatures. And don't get me wrong, I'm still going to invest in miniatures. It's just I've got to get through all the ones that I currently own and are blank to start with. So we're gonna but to take a break from just miniature furniture, like I said, there will be models involved. And if you all remember, I had a muscle car model, and I still have it, but I don't think a car is a good place to start. So instead, I went out and I purchased a Gundam model kit. I do believe it was 1/100 scale, and it was the 2014 line that they pushed out for the Gundam Build Fighters series of the franchise. If you're not completely up to date on that, I would suggest you go check it out. I'll probably link the first video or link to the channel that airs the episodes in full online. But it was the 1/100 scale Nightingale. And for those of you who are not aware of the Gundam universe, the Nightingale, to my knowledge, was either a... Nope, I remember it now. The Nightingale was a mech that was employed in one of the incarnations of Gundam. I cannot remember which, but the only time they ever released a kit for it was a resin kit that, if memory serves, went to the Sazabi. And the Sazabi kit was a completely different model that you had to, with the resin kit, put together to create your Nightingale. The one that they aired, or they pushed out last year, September 24th was its release date. Last year when they pushed that out, it was an entire model, all of its own, with its own parts and everything. And it also allowed for a more flexible, more posable system in terms of joints. But I figured one of the newer Gundam models, being from a bigger franchise, it would help draw your guys' attention for a little bit and give you all a break from the usual furniture miniature. So that should be in about a week from when this video takes place. If so, I will get started on the video right away, and I'll have it posted up again, which, as it seems to be my monthly routine to have become, once a month. And we're going to stick with the once a month and see how that pans out for me, because life has kept me away for a lot of reasons. But back on track, we now have a proper amount of time for this part of the ArticSaurus to dry. And I'm just going to go ahead and get the arm off, and the arm already is looking like it's taken its final form, aside from just a few more touches here and there to really make sure it gets in all of the scale regions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set that off to the side, and we're going to hook this badass back up and get him back on track and see what we can do. Alright, so what had happened was I forgot my camera on my phone. It had a time limit and I ran over it. So while I was explaining why I was doing what I was doing for the two pieces that you see on the stand right now, my phone cut out, and the portion of the white that was supposed to go with the video botched. So what you missed basically was using my number 4 brush and home front paint, useful but very thin. So 1 or 2 coats may be needed, or not one or two, but 2 coats may be needed depending on how bright you want your white to appear. Obviously, the more coats, the whiter it gets. It's good for a hobby paint, even though it says interior acrylic. So I painted out the head frill here, which I'll have to show you out of the light. Come on now. Yeah, it's kind of a bright piece. I just gently wiped the paint over the head frill plate, and then repeated the same process over here on the tip of the head helmet, the bone helmet he's wearing. So while these two are drying, actually I think this one should already be dry. Yeah, for the most part he is dry. Just gotta turn him over and get that last little bit out of him. And so we'll let him sit there to dry out. Now the really cool piece that I want to do, which I think will really shine out the whole thing, is the weapon. And for the weapon, what I'm going to do is use the glue that I have, or not the glue, but the goo. I'm just going to call it the goo. The goo that I have, that really blue metallic looking liquid that I snuck out of the last one. I'm just going to add a little bit more because we need it. So now I'm not exactly good on how to create a metallic shine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of the gold, again from Homefront. And we're just going to use a drop of that. We'll go 2 drops, actually. And hopefully the overwhelming blue won't screw it up too badly. No, actually it seems to be taking to it very well. Not sure if you all can see it because of the glare that's coming from my lamp. I'm still trying to fix that. But if you can tell, there's a bit of a shine to the goo itself now. I guess the best way to show you would be through actually painting it. So we'll go ahead and we'll start with that. And since I want the whole thing to kind of shimmer like this, I'm just gonna see. I don't know if you can really see it from here, but oh no, that's just cheap. That was a cheap move. Come on now. There it goes. It that shine will that shine is actually going to go with a neat little idea of mine, and the idea is, since these are Arctic, this is an ArticSaurus, how would you make weapons which usually made of stone or made of steel? How would you make those blend in? Color-wise. Well, the only thing that I could think of at the time was how blue the glaciers can be and the ice. So it would make sense that a shape like this, to someone who's not really familiar with the area or just sees a block of it sticking up, would assume it's just a glass rock, I guess, and wouldn't think twice about walking past it, which would prove to be their fatal flaw, or their fatal mistake, I guess you could call it. Same goes for prey. They would probably recognize it more as part of the scenery. So while we wait for this one to really take in and see if this experiment has paid off, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue them all together and let the fun begin. Alright, so we've got the base sitting out and got him ready to go. Just going to grab the glue, which wants to drip on me. No, it's going to be a problem. Bag glue. No drippy. Guess it had air bubbles from sitting around. Just gonna add in. Christ, I forgot his other leg. I am so stupid. I cannot believe I forgot the other leg. Pardon me. Oh, I feel so ashamed on that. I guess this counts also as a lesson in remembering to have all of your materials from the start. So, since we messed up with the leg and all that, we're going to start with the head. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take the back here, and I should note that if you're going to glue this part, it works better to leave that end unpainted, just to help it stick a little bit better. So, set you down, get you glued right at that center. And after you glue it, if you notice some spots where the paint would still be useful, go ahead and pop it on there. Like, see here in the back, that gray could definitely be used to shade in. So we're just gonna head and crap. Check them out. Look at that. That is let me just rest my arm here. I would say that shine's pretty neat. I'll have to post a picture at the end to really show you what it's like, considering the camera isn't doing its job for the most part on this particular piece. And I blame most of that on myself, because I'm using a camera, and also because I'm too much. Gotta fight. Alright, hold up. Let me take a glob of that. Yeah, if you have too much glue, do not be afraid to see if you can scrape some out of it. Alright. Alright, let's get that arm on. Alright, so apparently staff of the weapon is not done yet, so just gonna go ahead and fix that. Boom. And then I'm just gonna lean him right up like that. And we'll let that sit there. Alright, the head should be pretty well glued on by now. The tester's toxic cement does a pretty good job. You're going to come off looking a little lighter than the rest of it. I don't like it. Actually, I do kind of like it. See what happens if I just hold you upside down and let you dry. Let you dry that way. Alright, so now that that's done, let's get Big Boss over here. Your talon, I shall give the honor of shining. That big old talon of yours. Let me give it that honor. It's always good to make sure you review your models as time goes on, which I'm learning right now, because you'll never know what is and isn't painted totally until you start putting stuff together and notice spots you've missed. Alright, so that. We're just gonna scoop. Should warn you though that with tester's glue it does string a lot. And by string, I swear if I forgot another piece I'm gonna be so mad. I forgot the arm. Blow me to freaking hell and back. Alright, that's fine. Like I said, oh shit. The head sliding? No, the head's sticking. Good. Head needs to stay. Okay. I'm such a goob. I thought there was an arm piece that I needed for the shield when the arm piece is the shield. I am tired if you can't tell. So, that's good. For the shield, we'll say that he received it as a gift from his jungle brethren after washing up on shore in their land. And if you were to believe in the not to believe, but if you were to follow the lore set out in the core rulebook for lizardmen, you would find that the ones in blue are considered, with blue scales that is, are considered to be older and more powerful and wiser than the rest of the lizardmen, because they're called old ones, old, O-L-D, old ones. They're, according to the mythos, the first generation that spawned from the pools. So, if we're to follow that, he would be accepted I would say rather on the spot because of it. Okay, good. We got you in there. I'm just concerned about me touching you right now. I'm kind of concerned, but not for much reason. Alright. Now the trick. The trick on this part is to get the leg into the socket and then get the glue in there. Now, the piece de la resistance, shield. And I find the shield, if I haven't expressed this in earlier videos, I find the shield to be the most challenging part of the entire build, because it is the most, I would say it's the heaviest piece, and also the most independent. It requires a lot of its own standing. You know, to just hang there, rather than to use the support of other pieces. For example, the smaller leg has a socket, so it doesn't have to rely so much on its own. The arm can kind of lean against the body at a point. One ArticSaurus. Ready and at the command of his brothers and sisters of the tribe. I shouldn't say sisters, but I should say brothers. At this point, we won't worry too much about that leg. I can always touch it up later. Rather like that. Looks real nice. Alright guys, that is our ArticSaurus. Hope you all enjoyed watching this one. I know it's a bit lengthy, but then again, all of mine are. See if you can really see that shine now. Yep, now you can see it. See the faint glisten? That's the 2 drops of gold. Homefront. Not sponsored, but hopefully they'll see it. Again, sorry it was a bit lengthy, guys, but hey, most of them are, and I think this one was worth it. He came out pretty well. So, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.